Hi, I'm Aaron Tomlinson, and welcome to Conscious Spirituality. In this short video, I want to introduce you to chaos magic. And specifically for those of you that have been on this channel who have been through any kind of a deconstruction of a former belief system, whether it's religious belief system, political belief system, whatever it might be, where you held on to something as truth, believed in it very strongly, and then began to see things from a different perspective and ultimately deconstruct from that belief and create a new one. This is actually an act of chaos magic. So what is chaos magic? Chaos magic is historically attributed, usually in its origins, to a person by the name of Austin Osman Spare, who was writing, I think, at the beginning of the 20th century, and then was later further developed decades later. One of the primary people developing it was Peter J. Carroll. Now, to understand chaos magic and its evolution, we need to understand the context out of which it came. There was an occult revival at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century in Europe and America that was a revival of old European Hermetic Kabbalah and ceremonial magic. The most well-known magical order or group that practiced this kind of magic was the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And later, the chaos magicians, really kind of embracing the times, embracing the changes that were happening in the 20th century, and then especially in the 60s when there was revolt against the kind of cultural norms of the day, and the introduction of postmodernism and things like this. And so some of these guys that developed chaos magic began to look at what they believed to be the core fundamentals of magic. And their understanding was that magical abilities reside inside the human soul or inside human consciousness. That, in other words, magic doesn't really come from herbs or spells or potions, and definitely not from rituals. So if you're going to be involved in ceremonial magic, if you're going to be involved in the Kabbalah or Hermetic magic, if you were going to join one of the orders like the Golden Dawn or later on Dion Fortune's order or Israel Regardie's or even Aleister Crowley's, there were initiations and path workings that were rather laborious, rather tedious, and an initiation was a long, grueling process. What chaos magic sought to do was to look at the basics of the magical abilities and magical powers that were inherent, although maybe dormant, inside of every human being. And they realized that these rituals were used to awaken these powers, but the question became, were they necessary to awaken those powers? So not only did you have rituals that went with this, but you had a lot of philosophy, a lot of doctrine, a lot of theology, really, frankly, a lot of religion. And again, these were very strict paths and initiations and things like this. So what chaos magic sought to do was to, again, find the fundamentals of magic that are inside the person and then divorce it and from all of its trappings and eradicate all of the needs for theology, doctrine, path working, initiations, magical orders, all of these kinds of things. And so in its basic fundamental form, what these guys decided, or the conclusions that they came to, was that magic was released within us through 3 or 4 primary functions of the mind or of our consciousness, or really of the subconscious mind. These 4 things were desire, will, belief, and then sometimes added to that, imagination. So if you could cultivate your desires, cultivate your will, cultivate your belief, and use your imagination from within, then you could accomplish anything that could be accomplished with a grimoire or with a spell book, right? And so one of the fundamental practices for the chaos magician was to realize that all belief and all beliefs were the byproduct of some kind of conditioning, some kind of social conditioning. And so one of the first practices that a chaos magician is invited into is to challenge their beliefs, challenge their paradigms, challenge their points of view, and see them as just that, as beliefs, paradigms, and points of view, not as something that is inherently, objectively true. And then to step outside of your paradigm, step outside of your belief, perhaps even deconstruct from it, and adopt a different belief system, adopt a different paradigm, and experience the world through that point of view, and see how the world changes, see how you change, see how you're able to make changes in your life, and so forth. So that's one of the reasons it's called chaos magic, because the understanding is that for something new to be created in our lives, something old has to be deconstructed. Even in the beginning, in Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. In the Hebrew there, it's the Hebrew phrase tohu vabohu, and it literally means it was chaos. So the backdrop for creation, even in the Bible, even with God, is chaos. And so this chaos, when there's chaos, there is the opportunity for something new to be created. But before that something new can be created, something old has to be deconstructed. So the act of deconstructing from religion, the act of deconstructing from your faith, requires that you challenge deeply held core beliefs, deeply held paradigms, deeply held beliefs about yourself and who you are and why you're here and what your purpose in life is and things like that. And so those of us who have deconstructed, those of us who have gotten completely, like myself, completely and totally outside of our former paradigms and our former beliefs, we were participating and being initiated, whether we knew it or not, into the basic principles of chaos magic. And then whatever we become after that, even if we become atheists or we become scientific materialists or we become something else, that new us and the new life that we created is a participation in the principles of chaos magic. Now, there are so many things that people do in the paranormal, in the supernatural, in the magical realms, in the occult realms, that they just stumble into, that they do it sort of unconsciously. It seems to happen to them rather than it being something that they're doing with intention, doing with purpose, doing on purpose, and with cause. And so we can embrace some of these principles of chaos magic by realizing that all supernatural, psychic, and magical powers reside within us. It's just a matter of us activating those things. But in order for us to activate those things and create something new, oftentimes we have to deconstruct the old things. So you can do a little experiment. You can take a day, you can take a week, you can take a month, and just decide that whatever the point of view is that you are triggered by, that you are in opposition to, just take a day, take a week, take a month, and put aside all of your own presuppositions, all of your own resistance to whatever that point of view is out there that is upsetting to you, and try to take on that point of view. So in other words, if you're, really into fighting and martial arts and weaponry and guns, then try becoming a pacifist for a day and really trying to put that on and experience what it would be like to be a pacifist for a day or a week or a month. Or if you're a religious person and you're into monotheism, try taking a polytheistic worldview for a day, a week, or a month. Try taking an atheist point of view for a day or a week or a month, and really try to put those beliefs on and really try to put those perceptions on and see the world through that lens and see how it changes for you. And so then for the truly chaotic magician, or the person truly practicing chaos magician, when they do this, they can take on different points of view. They can experience the world through the eyes even of their adversaries, and then make a choice about which point of view or which belief they want to choose. And oftentimes what we'll find is that we're on the extreme of one end or the other. For me, I was on the extreme religious end. I was told out. I was sold out, totally committed, right? And as I was deconstructing and putting on these other beliefs, I found so much freedom and so much wholeness that I could decide, okay, this is the way I want to choose my life and express my life at this point in time in my life. but I don't have to be locked into it like it is the way, it is the truth, it is the life, where I'm at now. And so there's tremendous freedom to embrace the chaos again and try on different things in terms of belief systems and paradigms, find out what's going to work best for me. But in reality, I swung from the pendulum of being super religious to the pendulum of being damn near an atheist. And now I've kind of found my center point, my center place somewhere in the middle between the two. And that's where I'm the most comfortable. And that's where I'm the happiest. And that is an example of the workings of chaos magic and how it works with deconstruction. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel, hit, the like button, smash all the buttons down there, comment on there for the algorithm. If you want to be part of our New Day Global Facebook private group, the link is in the description. You do have to answer all the questions. I keep getting requests where people didn't answer the questions that go with the request. So if you asked to join and you didn't get accepted, chances are pretty good you didn't answer all the questions in there. So once again, thank you for watching this all the way through. I'm your host, Aaron Tomlinson, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks.